Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is part 19 of our Let's Get Cooking series. This will be, I would imagine, over a few videos I will split over a few videos. Some will be long, some will be quite short. I'll try to get them around 45 minutes if I can, but maybe they'll go to an hour. And in this part, we are going to add an ordering system with a screen that we can interact with in the 3D world and not using UI. Not using the normal UI with the mouse. We can actually interact with it in the 3D world, in the 3D space. And it's going to manage our orders for us, and it's also going to lead on to an end of day scenario where once this series is over, we will be doing a series about earning money and things like that. After that, we will probably be doing a couple of more smaller cooking mechanics like slicing vegetables, things like that, and adding a cooker and a pot so we can cook things. So we will be varying it, or maybe we're making a sandwich or something like that. So there'll be some more cooking. And then my next one after that is an ordering tablet. So you can order replacement goods, i.e. bread, butter, jam, coffee, whatever you're using. And when they arrive, we can put them on the shelves from boxes and it will keep our stock list. So that's what's coming up in the future. So that's enough waffling for this one. So we're going to call this one part 19A. And this is going to be, first of all, we're going to get some new assets and we're going to be setting up the basic UI to use with it. So without further ado, let's get going. The first thing we're going to do, as always with our assets, we go to our message folder. Now this is, again, this put it in appliances, and I'm just going to add a new folder and call it monitor, as in like computer monitor, and I'm going to import into the folder. As always, the assets that I can make available to you, I will make available to you in the download link below the video. So it'll be in your YouTube, it'll be in your YouTube assets folder, under your meshes, under, did I put it under, it's under monitor on its own. Now you see there's some colors here, don't worry about the colors. We're going to take them out of there anyway. You don't need them, you just need purely the monitor, and you don't need to import materials. So we can turn off the import materials and import that. Even though we do that, it still imports these, which we don't need. So we can go ahead and delete those textures. And then we can save the monitor. And the monitor is nothing special, it's something I knocked up in the modeling part of the software. Not very good, but it's good enough to demonstrate what we need. Now if we look here, we need 3 materials, okay? And I'm just going to open up my reference project so that I can make the correct materials for you. In fact, although it's 3 materials, we're actually only using 2. So the top one here, we're going to look for the M underscore clear coat black. It's a engine material, and you see that that's all bar. Let me get this down. I don't know where the last part is, but Let me see if I can isolate it. No, isolate it. Don't know where that is. It's probably the back of. No, I don't know where the second material is. My bad modelling. Okay, so you can go ahead and do the same one for the second one. So clear coat black. And on the third one, we need to make a very quick material. So let's go to our materials folder. Make a new material. We could call it M_matte black. And as you can imagine, it is incredibly simple. You hold down 4 on the keyboard, click the RGBA to there, and the color settings I used, I'll give you here. Copy and paste it as a paste it here. Okay. Should be an alpha of 1. So you've got 0.005 in red, green, and blue. So it gives this sort of nice matte finish. Metallic is 0. Specular and roughness are both 0. So I found that looked sort of roughly what I wanted. But again, feel free to use your own material. Now we've got that one, we can go ahead and add that to there. Should be the screen. Oh, because you've isolated that one. There it goes. It should be the screen. Yeah. So it's a screen here. Okay. It gives us a matte black screen for our monitor. That is all the assets we are going to be importing today. So we're just going to do a little bit of change in our world here, just so we've got somewhere to put it. What I'm basically did is did I copy it? No, I didn't copy it. I think I copied this wall here. Either one of them. This one I think I copied. So hold down your Alt key and just drag it forward. Do it to the back there. Obviously we don't want it that long. So on our X, well, we can reduce this scale down to 2. Down to 1 from 2. Okay, in a minute I've completely screwed that up. Let's get it back to what it was. Oh, because it was 36 in Y. So we can make this a lot smaller. Make it 10, 20, 15, something like that. And we're just trying to drag it along. Okay, that's still a bit big. 10, 5. 5 is probably good enough. We just want it as a wall. The height is probably okay. Put this to 1. Probably put that down to 0.5. I don't know what I did on the other project. Let me have a quick look. Okay, so I did it as 0.2 and 10.57 worked out well for me, and 3.9. I did have overlapping. Hold on, yeah. 3.9, give it a bit more height. And let's move it across it somewhere. Okay. Something like that. It doesn't really matter, it's only just for looks. And I use the same material as that. So let's find that material. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so we've got somewhere to hang our monitor, reflect light, etc. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make up some blueprints and some data assets. So let's do the data assets first. Just checking what we got it under. Okay. So go to our data assets folder. Data assets, appliances. We're going to add a new one. Go to miscellaneous. Go to data asset. And look for your DA appliances. We're just going to call this DA_monitor. And we open it up straight away. It is an appliance. The mesh is monitor. Name is monitor. This is really only for setting the mesh. It has, we're not really. Description orders monitor. Later on, we may do a sort of series where you can actually purchase these and do that sort of thing. But for now, we're not bothering with that. And that's all you need in there. You can uncheck these two. That should be fine. And we can close that. I think it's the only data asset that we need for this. Yes, it is. So we need to now make a blueprint. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to our blueprints folder. Game items, appliances, new blueprint class, and it's of DA. No, it's not. It's of BPP appliances. So we're going to call it BP_monitor. Really, this does nothing other than hold the interface and allows you to have interaction with it. That's all it does. There's very little code in this. Most of the code we will be doing is in the Kitchen Manager and a little bit in the UI. So let's open this up. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our data asset monitor. And you see, here's our monitor. Like so. Okay. Let's just do a, I think it's perspective, so we see what it looks like. Okay, so here's a monitor, just a black screen, like your computer monitor. And inside of that, we need to add a few things for the viewport, or add a thing to a viewport, to be honest. It's a widget. Just the widget, not the widget interaction. We're going to add that, and just leave it at its default name, that's fine. Okay. We're going to worry about the settings for that in a moment. Construction script is nothing. Event graph. We'll just go a little bit on begin play. But we need to make up some calls first. We can start it. So we can go from here and we can say, oh no, we can't start it, we haven't made the widget. So that's all we can do in here for now. I think the next thing we should do is, staying on the blueprint theme, we're going to go to our, actually we're going to make the UI first, or at least make the holders for them. Otherwise it's going to cause problems when we try to make the interface. So we're going to go to our UI folder, and we're going to make a new user widget. Normal user type, and we're going to call it WDT underscore main monitor. And we're going to make another one. So just because they're empty, we can just go ahead and duplicate them. Fine. Call this one WDT order block. And duplicate that one more time, and this is WDT underscore order line. Make sure we save everything. Now we have references for them, we can go in ahead and add the stuff into our interface. So let's just make sure I didn't add any new interfaces. I don't think I did. And just compare. No, I didn't add any new interfaces. We've managed to use the ones we've got. So we'll go ahead and start them. So most of it, like I say, the work's done through the BPI Kitchen Manager and the actual Kitchen Manager itself. Did I add any new ones for the UI? Selection, selected recipe in bulk. We got that one. Okay. I'm just seeing if okay. Okay, it's just confusing me because it's in my, I'm going to move that to details just because it was confusing me. So in the UI section, we have 3 more functions. And so we're going to add a new function. And we're going to call this, add a new function, come on. We're going to call this give monitor widget. And that has an output of does it have an output of which one? The main widget, I think. Main monitor. I'm just going to call this monitor widget. Like so. That one done. we're going to pop that in our UI category. So under here, into our UI. The next one is very similar, so we're going to add another one. Set monitor widget, and that has an import of the monitor widget. We can just put widget here for now. We don't need to write monitor widget all the time. And again, that's in UI. I'll save that. And one more for the UI section. There's plenty more to go yet, but one more for the UI section. And it's refresh order orders screen. And that has no inputs, no outputs. It is as it is. So that's our, and again, we'll pop that into our UI section. That's our UI section done. You should have 6. You might have 7, but I moved one down to there. So you should have 6. 6 or 7. So we got set stage complete, give current prep stage, yeah. Start new order. I've renamed this one now, so we're going to go ahead and rename this one. Instead of start new order, we can call it start new recipe. Give ingredients for stage, yes. Clear current order is now going to be clear current recipe. Give recipe is fine. Section message on complete, fine. Set pinned lines. Give drinks machine. Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so we've got a few to do. So let's make sure we're not missing any. So after the machines references, okay, we're going to have one. First one is going to be set active order. And that has an input. And that is order number. And that's of type integer. And then we're going to have its partner. Now we don't have the structure, so we need to go make a structure. We'll fill it out in a moment. So go back to our data folder, enums and structs, make a new folder, call it struct. Now first I'm using a struct in this series, and we're just going to create a blueprint structure, and we're going to call it orders struct. In fact, the correct should be s_orders. You could just say orders or orders struct. Okay, make sure you save that so we can get reference to it. So we've done set active order. We're going to put that into our utils. Then we're going to add a new one, and this is called get active order. And this has 2 outputs. First is order number, and the second is order. Let's make it a little bit better. Order details, make it more sense. And this is our S underscore orders stuff that we just made. I'm just going to swap them around like that. Okay. So that's that one. Again, that's in our utils. Actually, let's make it a little bit easier for ourselves. Instead of that, we're going to call it order. Make a new section, call it orders, so that it doesn't confuse everybody. And I'm actually doing the same on mine as we go along. Okay. So another one, which is going to be set order completed, and that has no inputs, no outputs, so we'll pop that in our orders. Group. Okay. Another one is set recipe completed, and again that has no inputs or no outputs. Pop that one into our orders, and our next one is yes, check items in bag, correct. And does that have anything? Okay, so that has an input, and it's called items in bag. And it's of type actor, just a basic actor. And it has an output called correct, and that's a boolean. And we're going to put that. I'm umming now whether to put it in the orders, but we'll put it in there for the sake of the video, just to make it a bit easier for people to understand. Okay, now this one's sort of an odd one, but this is a set next delivery date. Again, I'm going to put it in our utils because, sorry, in our orders just for the sake of the video, but really that could just as well be in the utils. And it has an input, and it's delivery date, and it's of type text status that we've already made. So again, we'll stick it in orders for now. Okay. And we're almost there. We have one called end day. Oh, okay, what am I doing there? end day, and end day has no inputs, no outputs. We can go ahead and put that straight in our orders, and the last one is called pinned check available ingredients. This is just to assist us with our pin. I'm going to put it in our orders one, although really it should live in YouTube. And I believe that's all we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in our orders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 8 in our orders. Yeah, that's correct. I haven't moved that one. In our utils, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12, that's correct. And 6 there, so we have all of those. So those are all done. Make sure you save it. And go ahead and close the Kitchen Manager. Blueprint interface. And I'm just going to neaten up my whole thing here. So I'm just going to close all the tabs on my project. I'm going to open up our monitor again. So now we can add to our monitor. You go ahead and close Static Mesh. Close that one if we opened it. Kitchen Manager will be working on, so we're going to leave it open. And we're going to close, we're going to open, oh sorry, we can close our coffee machine. And we can leave our monitor open. So in our monitor, now we can go ahead and do this. So from Begin Play, we're going to create a widget. And it's our monitor main widget. We're going to promote that to a variable. I'm going to call it monitor widget. Okay, once we've got that. Then we're going to get our Kitchen Manager. And we're going to run one of the new ones off of that. It's called set monitor widget message. We're going to set it to that. Then we're going to drag in our widget here. We're going to say set widget. And the widget is going to be our monitor widget. And that is all the code required in here. We will leave it open because we do have to do some adjustments to the widget to make it look correct, put it in the right place, etc. So I think the first thing to do is, let's see how much time we've got. I don't want it to be too long. Okay. We're going to start on making the UI. So open your UI folder. And we're going to open our main monitor widget first. So let's go ahead and do that. Open our, it's here somewhere, main monitor widget. Okay, we have a blank widget. I always use desired on screen. And the first thing you're going to want here, because we're using it in the world, we're going to want a scale box. And then we're going to want a canvas panel. And let's just set the scale box first, make sure we haven't done anything silly on that. Scale to fit both, absolutely fine as it is. It should be not hit decibel, that's fine, that's good. Canvas panel is just a canvas panel. Fine. You might find yours is a bit, I don't know why. On full screen so we can see what's going on. I don't know why it's so small in the middle there. Okay. Doesn't make any difference. So full screen for now while we're looking at it. So the next thing we're going to add is a border. To our canvas panel. I don't know why it's doing silly things. Okay, so we're going to make sure that's set to fill. And we have some settings on that border. Set to fill, but I'm going to change the anchor to the top left. Because when they scale from that way. And we are going to check on some settings here. So we're going to go down to the brush and we're going to say draw as none. Okay. Padding. And the padding, the content, under content, padding. Here, this one here. We're going to just do 40. Okay, you won't see anything happening on the screen, but you'll see it in a moment. And that's it for that. The visibility visible is fine. Okay. Next thing we're going to add is another border. So we're going to drag that border onto there. You can see now with the padding, it's moved that one inside. And with this border, we have it to draw as, we select the right one, we change it, draw as a rounded box. We don't want it rounded like that. So we'll go to our outline settings. I'm going to go to fixed radius. And the radiuses radii I chose were 40 all around. Not 410, 40. Okay. The color I chose was, I'll do the same color I've been doing everything else. Again, your color scheme's up to you. Paste, make sure it's 1. Okay. And the line width is 2. And the tint set to 0. And if I turn off these things here, you can see and click off it. You see we have a thin line. Just for decoration, really. Doesn't mean anything. Okay, so under our that same border selected, under our content, padding. We've got 15, 80, 15, and 15. Okay. That's the internal padding. And the next thing we have is okay, so we need to add a text. We're going to get a text. We're just going to add that to the canvas panel itself. And that's anchored to be, make sure you highlight the text, anchored to be here. And the offset is, now the alignment is 0.5, 0.5. And we can get rid of position X for a moment, size to content. And the position I've put is 16 in the X, sorry, negative 16 in the X. And 72 in the Y. Oh, negative 16. 72 in the Y. Negative 16. But no. Okay. So let me see a color. I've done it the same color as that. We can add our font. Use font I've been using. We're going to make sure the text is centrally aligned. Anything else that we need to know? Oh, I've got a text. Okay. That. Alignment here is fine. Oh, that should be 0.5. That's why it's not looking right. Okay. And in the text block, I've just put Crazy Chef. Order system. But you can put whatever you prefer. Like that. And I made the font size quite big. I made it 40. Okay. That should just be just inside that square there. Okay, so continuing in the border, we go back to the border here. We're going to add a vertical box. And to that vertical box, we're going to add a scroll box. And to the scroll box, we're going to add a wrap box. And we're going to add a horizontal box, which we are going to add to our scroll box here. We're going to set this scroll box to fill. Horizontal box. Make sure the horizontal box is in the vertical box, not the scroll box. There you go at the bottom there. Hit the bottom there. And in here, in the scroll box, sorry, horizontal box, we're going to add some text. We're going to format one up first, and then we'll duplicate it. Makes our life easier. Choose our font, choose our color. Then I'm going to use the same colors I've been using throughout the game. Size is 30. And it's set to be left aligned and fill. And I've got some default text in here, which I'm going to copy and paste, which is select order to make active. Make sure your horizontal box, you don't want it filled, but you want it auto, but you want it that way. And also your horizontal box, I believe I put some padding at the ends of it. I put some padding on the ends of the horizontal box, so go to your padding. I did 20, nothing on the top, 20 on the right, and 10 on the bottom. Brings it in a bit. Get this select order to make active text. We're going to duplicate that. While it's highlighted, we're going to switch it to the other end. And again, I've got some default text to go in at the moment, but this will be changed as we go along. Compile. Now make sure you can highlight both of these. Make sure they're both set to verticals. Sorry, variables, not verticals, variables. This first one I've called, just so you've got the name convention the same, user message text. So this gives us little messages on the screen there as well. And this one I've called order progress text. The other thing we need to do is we're going to go to our wrap box. That needs to be made a variable, and I've just called it orders box. And for the inner slot padding, I've just set it to 15. And I think I've left everything else pretty well as standard on that. I'll save that. And there's one more thing that we're going to add on here. Okay, so we're going to add a size box. We're going to add that to the canvas panel. We're going to make sure that's anchored in the middle. And we're going to set the size of that to 500. 320 there. And the same here, just to make sure it stays there. Here. And inside that, we're going to add a border. And let's make it so that we have a look. Border. Highlight our border. So tint, I've done black, 100% black. Okay, draw as a rounded box again. I think it looks a little nicer than just squares all the time. Fixed radius. It's 20 on these. Oh. And the color is white. And the size is 2. You should see, we should have, make sure you can do the outline. Opacity up. And you see, if we click off it, we've got a nice white border on our box. To that, we're going to add a vertical box. And there's no padding on the vertical box. And we're going to add a text, a vertical box. We're going to add 2 texts in a vertical box. So let's deal with the first one first. So the first one here, we're going to change to our font that we're using, or whatever font you prefer. Put it in the center, and it has padding at the top of 40, and the text I put end day, all in capitals, and the font size is 40 also. 40 seems to be a happy number for today. Okay, then the next text, I'm going to copy and paste this because it's a lot for me to type. I'm trying to save time a little bit, but what you write in here will make sense to whatever you're doing. I've written all orders have been completed. Press confirm with 2 S's, not 1. Press confirm to end the day. You want to make sure that we scroll down on this one and look for your auto wrap and the alignment central. And also on here we have a padding at the top of 30. Bring it down a bit, change that font, and I've left that standard size font, signed by me. And here's one. Okay. Sometimes you find it all goes weird and you have to hit Last thing I'm going to add is a button to our said vertical box. And our button, I've called it end day confirm button. Make sure it's a variable. Top padding of, oh, be careful, I didn't put that in the right one. We're just going to call that text block. Okay, so in our button we have top of 50. We have on top of the button we have some text. And the text is the text. Okay, it's our normal font. 24 size, I didn't change that. Change that, didn't change that. And here I just put confirm. And I made it black. and I made the button, click back on the button, in the style, in the normal style, made the tint white. And what else did I do? Click on that, and that's that done. Now, the first thing we also need to highlight the actual size box, which I've ended up calling end of day box. Make sure that's a variable. Scroll down here, visibility, you want to set to collapsed. Now it is important, collapsed, do not put hidden, because if you put hidden, it can still be hit by ray tracing. It has to be collapsed, which means it doesn't take up any space, so it cannot be hit. Okay, so we've got it here at the moment, but when we play it, it will be hit. Click on the time. Okay, so let's have a quick look in the monitor, see what is going on in here. So we do have I'm just reading what I put. Okay, so in our widget, we need to scroll right the way down to user. It used to be at the top, but they put it down the bottom. I'm sure they changed it. Look for the user interface section. Here it is. The Spaces World real time is fine. Widget class, we're going to put our main. Move out there a little bit. 500 by 500, but we're going to click manually redraw, draw desired size. Interaction should be window focusable, set it test visible, that's fine. Everything else is fine. The only other thing I did was for the scale. I set for 1. So let's set the location first. I set it as negative 22.6 by 0 by negative 3.1. Rotation on the Z, I put 180. Now you're seeing that we're getting it, but it's like way too big at the minute. The Y is 0.109. And the same for the Z. Okay, now you'll see we're starting to get it to fit inside our monitor. Okay, you can play around with the settings to make it fit better for you, but that's sort of what I came up with. And if we go ahead now and we find our blueprint, we're going to do this and we're going to call it a day for this video. We go to our world. We can drag one monitor in here. Rotate it around so it's facing the correct way. Let's move it out a little bit. I've got that on 110 and snapping off. Something like that. So you see now we have a monitor on the screen. Like that. And if we go ahead and play, so we monitor the screen and that other part is not there. We've got a speech bubble which we shouldn't have, but we'll deal with that later. So that's what we're going to do for today's video. Next, which we'll probably go ahead and record straight away, we're going to set up the other two parts of the UI and start getting some code under our belts. I will see how it goes. I might just make that one long video because we've done a reasonable amount today already. Thank you for watching. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you need any advice or you just want to chat, come and join my Discord server. If you really like what I do, consider joining my Patreon or buy me a coffee. Every little helps. All goes to help keep the channel running. See you in the next one. Bye.